If there's one thing every guy is guilty of, it's trying to suck your own dick. But also, skipping an anime's opening or ending. Now, personally, I tend to watch the opening once at the start of the season and think, this is mid as fuck. Then proceed to skip the rest and forget about it. And the ending song? What ending song? Those don't exist. But every once in a while, I do take the time to revisit the show's OP and ED. And almost every time, I feel like my Asian parents. Disappointed for even giving it a chance. Sure, sometimes the music slaps, but most credit scenes are either random action montages for the sake of vibes, or straight up fucking spoilers. But every now and then, an opening feels different. Not just catchy, but essential. Something that reflects the soul of the show without flashing you with key plot points. Frieren's opening and ending is one of those rare cases, becoming more meaningful after each episode. So today, let me yap a bit about the quiet genius of Frieren's opening and ending credits. The main complaint I've heard about Frieren's first opening is that it doesn't really fit the show's tone. It's upbeat, energetic, and fun, unlike openings for similar fantasy anime, which consist of a slower tempo and mellower vibe. But that's the fucking point. Frieren is an anime that consistently subverts your expectations, and this opening does just that. Like many of YOASOBI's songs, yuusha is depressing as fuck once you read the lyrics. And this musical oxymoron encapsulates the bitterly hopeful moral of Frieren's story. To start with, the song's beginning can be summarized in 3 parts instrumentally: low piano, high piano, and a clapping rhythm. Right from the get-go, we see a clash between triplets of low notes and a short high-pitched piano lick, which is stabilized with a simple clapping rhythm in the background. We can interpret the low notes as the end of Frieren's original journey. A sense of calm and melancholy is felt, but is juxtaposed by the intense high notes, creating tension and teasing there is something more to the story than meets the eye. The lyrics match this as it goes, The last part of this verse obviously refers to Himmel the goat, but what's more discreet is the very first line. Like a fairy tale underpins the survival of memory in Frieren, or lack thereof. Fairy tales are mere stories you tell children before bed. They aren't real. Or in this case, they were tales from so long ago that evidence of them being real is close to none. Time erodes all beauty, and we can link this to Kraft the monk and Flamme, who have become legends, revered for benefiting the world, but whom nobody remembers. So in episode 7, when we learn that the reason Himmel has so many statues made of himself and his party is so that they won't be forgotten and become a fairy tale, you have this damn moments as you realize how small you and your memories are in the endless march of time. And even if you cure cancer or some shit, you'll one day be forgotten, and so will everyone you love. And just like that, I unlocked a new fear of being forgotten. And the fact that this line unfolded into such a vital motif is just tough as fuck. Another thing to note is that the animation during the first 9 seconds is very sketchy, adding to the journey's dated depiction, like it was from a long time ago, which it was. A young Frieren transitions to an older Frieren, evidenced by the change in hairstyles, as this shot looks the same as this scene of Frieren standing in front of the Demon King's castle. In this next scene, it cuts to Himmel, offering a hand to Frieren before fading away. As we learn throughout Frieren's flashbacks, Himmel was a massive simp, but an ethical one, who tried to help Frieren appreciate the beauty of every moment. But in the end, he died a virgin. Frieren never understood the importance of Himmel in her life until it was too late. Oh my god, Frieren, just take a hint, please! And therefore, he fades away, transitioning into this more rendered scene of Frieren sleeping, implying that the first 9 seconds was just a dream. That might sound like a bit of a stretch, but we see multiple times throughout season 1 that Frieren is always thinking about Himmel, due to her lament and regrets over losing him. So this makes sense in my mind. Anyway, the beat drops and we get into the thick of it. By the way, from now on, I'm not gonna analyze the music at all because I don't want to get copyright fucked by YouTube, and also because I'm musically illiterate. So for the rest of this video, it's just gonna be analyzing the imagery and lyrics. Okay, with that out of the way, the lyrics in this next part preludes episode 1 perfectly. The second part is a euphemism for Himmel's death, while the first alludes to defeating the Demon King. But after this, Frieren is all alone, being the only one in color, while the humans around her are mere grey blurs, portraying how she never connected with humans during the 50 years after her adventure with Himmel. To her, humans come and go as quickly as memes in 2025, and her near-immortal lifespan would mean she has to experience grief constantly if she ever tried to form a relationship with humans. So she doesn't. These scenes aren't here to be like, oh, look guys, she's the main character, can't you tell? It vividly depicts her isolation from the world around her. And this is emphasized as we switch to this scene of Frieren looking out the window at Fern and Stark, implying how even on her new journey, she still feels alienated from her companions. The window serves as a literal depiction of her separation, like that Squidward meme. And as such, one of the more subtle themes of the narrative is conveyed. The show never really focuses on her isolation and how it affects Frieren emotionally, choosing to explore how she overcomes it instead. But this motif lurks in small moments, like when she gets disappointed that nobody recognized her magic license from the Jurassic era, or when she remarks how she might be the only person who remembers Flamme. The lyrics from this section build on from this, and depicts the theme that every goddamn video essay on Frieren talks about: time. In this context, it isn't just about Frieren's immortality and how she's coping with it. It's about how everything from memory to physical remnants of a hero can be swept away by the flow of time. We've seen this happen with Flamme and Kraft, like I mentioned before, and the scary thing is, this could happen to Himmel, but let's just not think about that right now. There's also this little scene with a cool chalk drawing of the hero's party about to 4v1 the Demon King. And an interesting detail is the things Frieren, Fern and Stark are doing are the same things as when we first meet them. Frieren is reading, Stark is training, which was implied in his introduction episode, and Fern was hitting this pose. Is that relevant at all? Nope. But it's kinda cool. The following part switches from an omniscient narration to first person, as Frieren expresses her feelings regarding Himmel. Representing the interactions she and Himmel had during their adventure together. Himmel's desires of being a hero and being remembered, and the ethos in which he lived by, savoring every moment of his life and doing side quests for random NPCs because even the smallest acts of kindness can change someone's life. And Frieren carries all these parts of Himmel within her memory, serving as a wincing pang of regret for ghosting the Chad of Chads for 50 years. But on the other hand, Himmel is also an inspiration, a spiritual guide on which she consults to avoid making the same mistakes as she once did, and to truly be a part of the world. Finally, we reach the chorus. This perfectly sums up Frieren at the funeral. She thought, up until her last mini-adventure with Himmel, that he was a speck of dust in her eternal life, destined to be blown away. But as the shovels of dirt fall over Himmel's coffin, sealing his final chapter, his significance hits her like a fire hydrant in a hurricane. This is likely the first time she has ever felt emotion of this magnitude, as we have never seen her cry, even when her village got bulldozed by demons or when Flamme died, which just emphasizes the influence Himmel was on her. Thus, she retraces her journey in hopes of learning more about him, and to understand the experiences he showed her. The visuals throughout the pre-chorus and chorus are pretty standard though, just introducing characters and plot points, but in a way which links everything together. Glimpses of major moments from Season 1, like the exam arc, aura fights, Frieren's ring, and Himmel's sword appear as flashy visuals, till you watch the episode that explores them. And now you're like, oh, so that's what it was. And the characters are paired together as well. A prime example being the dichotomy between Flamme and Ciri. In Flamme's scene, she is standing in a field of flowers, which represents her favorite spell, while being basked in warm sunlight paints her as a good guy. More subtly, she is introduced through a low panning shot from the back, before transitioning to a high-angle front-facing shot, revealing her warm smile and creating the impression she is a character we should be comfortable around and revere. Contrary to this, Ciri is presented with a close-up right off the bat, instantly getting in your face and invoking unease. This is exacerbated by the harsh lighting of purple, symbolizing power and evil, while she sits on a throne in a basement like the queen of the goon cave or some shit. So it becomes obvious that she is an antagonist of some sort. Finally, the last scene where Frieren transitions into frame with her old party in front and her new one behind demonstrates how in her old party she was just a member, going with the flow, and not really thinking too much about the party's significance. While with her new group, she is the leader, but still following in the footsteps of her old journey. The amalgamation of visual storytelling along with yuusha's pensive lyrics, uplifted by its groovy rhythm, forges something truly unique. This opening serves as a literal prologue to the show, preparing you for what's to come while ticking the boxes of being a musical masterpiece and a vibe check. It's not just an opening, it's a promise. And throughout subsequent episodes, you realize more and more what that promise was, which allows it to melt so seamlessly into the show. Oh wait, you actually watched till the end? First of all, thank you so much for doing that and not just pulling out halfway through. And second of all, I'm sorry. This video was actually gonna be way longer and also cover Frieren's ending song, which I mentioned in the introduction, but that'll have to be its own separate video now, cause I really need to start cramming for exams. So unfortunately, for the next 2.5 months, I'ma be radio silent on this channel. I don't want to do this, but these exams are literally going to decide my future, so I actually need to lock in. With that said, thanks for all your support on this channel so far, and if you want to watch the second part to this video, I'll link it in the end screen once I finish it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see if I pass my exam, or if I pass away.